Good evening, and welcome to MTSU's Vote 2024 election coverage. Tonight's coverage is brought to you by a team of reporters and producers dedicated to bringing you live updates from 7 Middle Tennessee counties. MTSU Vote 2024 starts now.
Good evening, I'm Dawson Riggins.
And I'm Brett Walker. The polls have closed and we're checking all the local results for you. Polls were open today from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and voters were out all day casting their ballots.
We'll have all the updated results for you as they come in tonight. Let's go ahead and start with the races that have already been determined.
We're covering local elections tonight in Bedford, Cannon, Coffee, DeKalb, Rutherford, Warren, and Wilson County. We're also keeping an eye on Tennessee state elections as well as Tennessee's congressional seats and of course the presidential election, the balance of power in both the U.S. House and Senate, and on key battleground states. Let's start the night by announcing some of the major state races. In the Tennessee House of Representatives District 43 race, the seat goes to Paul Sherrill, who ran unopposed. This will be his 5th term as District 43's representative. Sherrill is currently the majority floor leader for the Republican Party.
The Tennessee House of Representatives candidate for District 62 also ran unopposed this year. Pat Marsh will continue serving District 62 as their representative for his 9th term. Marsh once again will be representing Bedford, Moore, and parts of Lincoln counties after the redistricting. Marsh was originally elected in 2009 during the special election. We'll let you know as soon as the rest of the Tennessee House of Representatives races are announced, but we do have quite a few local races we can call. Moving on to Bedford County, in Shelbyville, the seat for City Council Ward 1 went unopposed. Henry Fieldhouse has served Shelbyville continuously for 45 years in several different positions within the Shelbyville government. Moving on to Warts race, there were 3 open seats for aldermen. There were only 3 seats available and only 3 people ran. Thomas Batchelor, Benjamin Cataldo, and Matthew Evans ran for these 3 available seats. Benjamin Cataldo has been alderman for Warts race since 2020. This will be Thomas Batchelor and Matthew Evans' first time serving as a Warts race alderman.
Sticking with Bedford County, there were 2 seats on the ballot for the Normandy alderman. While there were 2 seats available for alderman, only 1 candidate ran. Cody Sherrock ran for one of the 2 available seats and will be Normandy's newest alderman. If there is a winner for the 2nd seat announced at a later time, we will let you know. Moving over to Cannon County, we have several unopposed races that we can go ahead and announce. But first, Middle Tennessee News reporter Jacob Burgess sat down with the current and longtime Auburntown Mayor, Roger Turney.
Here in Auburntown, not much has changed over the last 75 years since the town was incorporated. One of the most consistent aspects has been the presence of Roger Turney. He's been mayor of Auburntown since 1972. Turney's family has been here since the beginning of Auburntown, with his grandfather being the very first mayor.
How are we doing today?
Doing good, how about you?
Turney lived here as a child, but moved away and spent his teen years in California.
I'll never forget, I was in the 4th grade at Auburn School here, and I can remember telling the kids, man, I'm going to California, the big city. I'll never come back to this little place. I'm going there where the fun is. Well, needless to say, I had to eat my words. In that 4th grade, when I told those kids I'd never be back, by the time I turned 21, I was bound and determined to come back to Tennessee.
Turney came back to the area to finish his education degree, eventually settling down in Auburntown for good.
I was principal of school here. They asked me to serve on the city council, and I agreed to do that. I served on the city council. And the mayor that we had at that time, Magnus Phillips, he had to resign as mayor. And they asked me to fulfill that. Well, we didn't even have an election. They just put me in. The city council voted to put me in as mayor. And I've been mayor now for almost 50 years. This is one of these jobs, once you get it, it's a lifetime appointment, I think.
As principal of Auburn School, he was a do-it-all type of principal. He would teach 5 classes in a day, with a single planning period on top of being the principal. As mayor, Turney was able to help the city grow. He got city water for Auburntown and the surrounding areas, built a town park named in honor of his grandfather, and opened a community center. Turney, though, is now ready to pass it on to the next generation to continue leading the town.
I'm very fortunate that the last few years We've had a new council member, Marty Harris. She is one of these real go-getters, and she has agreed to serve as mayor.
Harris is no stranger to how Auburntown operates. She comes from a family of local council members. Her father served on the same board with Turney back in the day.
Try to take the place of Roger. I want to do the best I can for the city of Auburntown.
Auburntown is looking forward to seeing what changes their first new mayor since the 70s will bring. In Auburntown, Jacob Burgess, Middle Tennessee News for MTSU Vote 2024.
Thanks, Jacob. As Roger Turney is retiring from his historical run as the mayor of Auburntown, Marty Jean Harris ran unopposed and will serve Auburntown as their new mayor. She hopes to preserve Auburntown's charm and way of life. Also in Auburntown, 6 people ran for alderman and there were 6 seats available. Those 6 available seats went to Janice Atkins, Rita Davis, Tabitha Fletcher, Tina R. Fletcher, Dean Nichols, and Colton Lee Tuck. This will be Colton Lee Tuck's first term as alderman, while the rest of the candidates have already served as aldermen for previous terms.
When we come back, we will have more Rutherford County results. Make sure to stay with us because we will be checking in with the MTSU student newspaper, Sidelines.
Do you want more from your college experience? At Middle Tennessee State University, that's exactly what you get. More majors, more opportunities, more guaranteed scholarships. Up to $32,000 over 4 years. MTSU, Tennessee's University of Opportunities.
We do it. The stars come to Middle Tennessee State University. And students come here to become stars, no matter what they pursue. We do it all. We're the only college of media and entertainment in the world, just outside the heart of Nashville.
Look, mic check 1 2, everybody listen. When you do it like this, ain't no competition. I'm talking BIG, VIP. Treat them like a front row seat and make them pay attention. If I shoot for the 3, then I ain't never missing. Cranking up the degrees like I was in the kitchen. Can't lose, got too much to prove. And when you do it all, it get too hard to do it.
Our curriculum and facilities are cutting edge. And our relationships with industry leaders give students an edge over the competition. Check it out. You can get real-world experience with degrees in recording industry, media arts, journalism and strategic media, and more. Media and entertainment at Middle Tennessee State University. Learn to shine.
Middle Tennessee State University offers more than 100 master's and doctoral degrees designed for working professionals. Many of MTSU's graduate programs are offered partially or completely online. More information is available at mtsu.edu/graduate.
Welcome back to MTSU Vote 2024 coverage. Make sure to stay tuned throughout the night to see results from the election from our 7 Middle Tennessee counties.
But first, let's check in just down the hall from our studio where reporter Jacob Burgess is with the MTSU Sidelines student newspaper. Jacob?
Thank you, Brett. I'm here in the Center for Innovation in Media with MTSU Sidelines Editor-in-Chief, Kaylee Shores. Kaylee, can you tell us some about what Prep has Sidelines been doing?
Well, we've been working on our Election Day plan since the beginning of October. We've got a massive document that's like 5-6 pages long at this point that has all of our reporters' phone numbers, all of our photographers' phone numbers, and where they're going to be all night. We had split up into a day shift and a night shift, so yeah, we've been kind of planning for this for a long time.
What are some of the events you've been covering tonight?
So, well, tonight we've been looking at races, of course, but over the course of the day, we covered the party at the polls that was at Central Magnet School. We covered just the vibe on MTSU campus all day, just from the different events that were going on and just how campus felt. And also, we broke a story about some issues with voter registration on campus when students were going to vote at Central Magnet School. They were having to vote on provisional ballots because they didn't take the proper ID, so that story's live on our site too.
talking about some of those local races you're covering. Can you expound on those?
Yeah, so we are really taking a deep look at 3 races that are mainly going to affect our MTSU campus area. That's the Mike Sparks race, Mike Sparks versus Luis Mata, and then the Blackburn versus Johnson race, which has already been called for Blackburn, and the Charlie Baum and Sherry Brown race.
And what are some things later into the night that you're expecting to put out?
Well, we've got our live blog story up that's calling numbers as they come in, and then we are waiting for stories from our reporters out in the field that are out in watch parties all across the mid-state for just what's going on at those watch parties and how it feels when a candidate finds out that they win or finds out that they lose.
And then later into the night, do you expect any races to get called soon that you're going to break?
Well, we're mainly looking for those more local races. We know the Mata versus Sparks one is a bit more competitive, but we'll have to see.
Well, thank you, Kaylee. Back to you, Brett.
Thanks, Jacob. Make sure to check out all of Sidelines' updates throughout the night on their socials at MTSU Sidelines on Instagram and X. Also check out their website, mtsusidelines.com.
Moving on to Rutherford County, the Eagleville councilman election votes have come in. There were 3 seats available for Eagleville councilman. Jason Blair, Ryan J. Edwards, and Chris Hendricks ran for the 3 available seats and now hold these seats. All 3 have been serving Eagleville for several years. Also in Rutherford County, there were 2 available seats for aldermen in Laverne. Graham Coates and Steve Noe ran for these 2 available seats as independent candidates and have won both titles. They both will continue serving Laverne as aldermen.
Moving on over to Wilson County, the Lebanon community voted on the Cartmel Scholarship this week. The vote passed to award the scholarship to Katie Claire Campbell, who was unopposed. Make sure to check back in at our 9 o'clock show to learn more about this interesting Lebanon tradition. Continuing on with more of Wilson County, James Manis ran unopposed for the mayoral race in Mount Juliet. This will be his 2nd term as mayor. In addition to serving as mayor, Manis also serves on the Wilson County Mount Juliet Development Board. Manis champions customer service, public safety planning, and government transparency.
Another mayoral race in Wilson County. In Watertown, Michael Jennings ran unopposed for mayor of Watertown. Jennings has been mayor of Watertown since 1983 and also serves as Wilson County's attorney and their school board attorney. Continuing in Wilson County, there were 3 available spots for Watertown's aldermen at large. Steve Casey, Laura Leigh Cromer, and April Pearson ran for these 3 open spots for aldermen at large and won. These 3 will continue serving Watertown for the next 2 years.
Previewing some of the Warren County races, we can go ahead and announce that Michael Mathis, who ran for one of the 2 available seats for Centertown alderman, has won. We will be back with more MTSU Vote 2024 coverage live at 9 and 10 o'clock. We'll have more of the Warren County races then.
We will also have the results of the McMinnville mayoral race and the Lebanon alderman results.
Thank you for watching. See you back here at 9 for more MTSU Vote 2024.
MTSU's Vote 2024 special coverage is brought to you by a collaboration of Middle Tennessee News, True Blue TV, MTSU Sidelines, the School of Journalism and Strategic Media, Department of Media Arts, College of Media and Entertainment, the Political Science Department, and MT10.